The 47 Rohnins. The books which have been written of late years about Japan have either been compiled from official records or have contained the sketchy impressions of passing travelers. Of the inner life of the Japanese, the world at large knows but little. Their religion, their superstitions, their ways of thought, the hidden springs by which they move, all these are as yet mysteries, nor is this to be wondered at. The first Western man who came in contact with Japan, I'm speaking not of the old Dutch and Portuguese traders and priests, but of the diplomatists and merchants of 11 years ago, met with a cold reception. Above all things, the native government threw obstacles in the way of any inquiry into their language, literature, and history. The fact was that the Tycoon's government, with whom alone, so long as the Mikado remained in seclusion in his scarce capital at Kyoto, any relations were maintained, knew that the imperial purple with which they sought to invest their chief must quickly fade before the strong sunlight, which would be brought upon it so soon as there should be European linguists capable of examining their books and records. No opportunity was lost of throwing dust in the eyes of the newcomers, whom, even in the most trifling details, it was the official policy to lead astray. Now, however, there is no cause for concealment. The roi fainéant had shaken off his sloth, and his maire du palais together, and an intelligible government, which need not fear scrutiny from abroad, is the result. The records of the country being but so many proofs of the Mikado's title to power, there is no reason for keeping up any show of mystery. The path of inquiry is open to all, and although there is yet much to be learned, some knowledge has been attained in which it may interest those who stay at home to share. The recent revolution in Japan has wrought changes social as well as political, and it may be that when, in addition to the advance which has already been made, railways and telegraphs shall have connected the principal points of the land of sunrise, the old Japanese, such as he was and had been for centuries, when we found him 11 short years ago, will have become extinct. It has appeared to me that no better means could be chosen of preserving a record of a curious and fast disappearing civilization than the translation of some of the most interesting national legends and histories, together with other specimens of literature bearing upon the same subject. Thus, the Japanese may tell their own tale, their translator only adding here and there a few words of heading or tag to a chapter, where an explanation or amplification may seem necessary. I fear that the long and hard names will often make my tales tedious reading, but I believe that those who will bear with the difficulty will learn more of the chapter of the Japanese people than by skimming over descriptions of travel and adventure, however brilliant. The lord and his retainer, the warrior and the priest, the humble artisan, and the despised eta or pariah, each in his turn will become a leading character in my budget of stories. And it is out of the months of these personages that I hope to show forth a tolerably complete picture of Japanese society. Having said so much by way of preface, I beg my readers to fancy themselves wafted away to the shores of the Bay of Edo, Tokyo, a fair, smiling landscape, gentle slopes, crested by a dark fringe of pines and firs, lead down to the sea. The quaint eaves of many a temple and holy shrine peep out here and there from the groves. The bay itself is studded with picturesque fishercraft, the torches of which shine by night like glowworms among the outlying forts. Far away to the west loom the goblin-haunted heights of Oyama, and beyond the twin hills of the Hakone Pass, Mount Fuji, the peerless mountain, solitary and grand, stands in the center of the plain, from which it sprang vomiting flames 21 centuries ago. For 160 years, the huge mountain has been at peace, but the frequent earthquakes still tell of hidden fires, and none can say when the red-hot stones and ashes may once more fall like rain over 5 provinces. In the midst of a nest of venerable trees in Takanawa, a suburb of Edo, is hidden Sengakuji, or the Spring Hill Temple, renowned throughout the length and breadth of the land for its cemetery, which contains the graves of the 47 Rohnins, famous in Japanese history, heroes of Japanese drama, the tale of whose deeds I am about to transcribe. On the left-hand side of the main court of the temple is a chapel in which, surmounted by a gilt figure of Kannon, the goddess of mercy, are enshrined the images of the 47 men and of the master whom they loved so well. The statues are carved in wood, the faces colored, and the dresses richly lacquered. As works of art, they have great merit. The action of the heroes, each armed with a favorite weapon, being wonderfully lifelike and spirited. Some are venerable men with thin gray hair. One is 77 years old. Others are merry boys of 16. Close by the chapel, at the side of a path leading up the hill, is a little well of pure water, fenced in and adored with a tiny fernery, over which is an inscription setting forth that this is the well in which the head was washed. You must not wash your hands or your feet here. A little further on is a stall at which a poor old man earns a pittance by selling books, pictures, and medals, commemorating the loyalty of the 47. And higher up yet, shaded by a grove of stately trees, is a neat enclosure kept up as a signboard announces by voluntary contributions, round which are ranged 48 little tombstones, each decked with evergreens, each with its tribute of water and incense, for the comfort of the departed spirit. There are 47 Rohnins, there are 48 tombstones, and the story of the 48th is truly characteristic of Japanese ideas of honor. Almost touching the rail of the graveyard is a more imposing monument, under which lies buried the Lord, whose death his followers piously avenged. And now for the story.